Have you ever wondered how 40 Amish farmers plant 15 full acres completely, by hand, in just 2 days, while most modern farmers need expensive machinery running for weeks? Most people think large scale planting requires tractors, but community coordination systems and hand tools make it possible. Pre planting soil preparation gets completed entirely weeks before the community planting day arrives rather than scrambling during the gathering itself. Every participating family prepares their designated section independently before the community comes together. Pre-prepared soil allows immediate planting from the first minute without any preparation delays consuming valuable group time. Pennsylvania families complete bed preparation 3 full weeks before the scheduled planting gathering. Ohio State University's 2019 agricultural efficiency research found pre-prepared soil increasing community planting speed by 60% over unprepared ground. Broad fork aeration, compost application, and bed marking all finish before gathering day. Nothing remains for the community planting day except the actual seed placement itself. The entire gathering dedicates itself exclusively to planting without any preparation interruptions, consuming collective labor time. The row marking method pre-marked rows eliminate 40% of planting time that uncoordinated groups waste measuring, discussing spacing, and correcting errors during actual planting. String lines stretched between precisely positioned wooden stakes mark every single row before any planter arrives at the field. Row spacing gets established before 40 planters arrive, eliminating all measurement discussion during the gathering itself. Every planter follows string lines immediately without measuring or discussing spacing with neighbors. Michigan State University's 2018 agricultural efficiency research found pre-marked rows increasing planting efficiency by 45% over self-measured rows. Wooden stakes, cut from the farm woodlot, cost absolutely nothing beyond the labor of cutting and sharpening. Biodegradable jute twine marks every row and gets composted directly after planting completes. Stakes get positioned at correct spacing for each specific crop type in their designated field sections. Different colored string distinguishes different crop zones visible from distance across the entire 15-acre field. Pennsylvania families pre-mark the entire 15 acres the full day before the gathering arrives. One experienced person marking rows requires only 3 hours for 15 complete acres. That 3 hour investment eliminates hours of confusion and measurement error during the 40-person gathering day. The seed pre-soaking preparation seeds get pre-soaked for 12 to 24 hours before planting day begins to accelerate germination and establishment significantly. Pre-soaked seeds germinate 7 days faster than identically planted dry seeds under the same field conditions. Faster germination means earlier harvest that extends the selling season by a full week at premium early market prices. Wisconsin's 2020 germination research found pre-stoked seeds establishing 40% faster than dry seeds planted simultaneously. Bean, corn, squash, and pea seeds all benefit substantially from pre-soaking treatment before community planting days. Never soak small seeds, including carrot and lettuce, because soaking causes clumping that makes precise placement impossible. Soak all appropriate seeds in room temperature water, changing the water every 8 hours throughout the soaking period. Drain completely before planting day begins to prevent rot in newly planted soil from excess moisture. Pre-soaked seeds get placed in clearly labeled baskets designated for specific rows in the field. Each basket travels with the designated planting team directly to their correct row without confusion. Indiana families soak all appropriate seeds the night before every gathering day without exception. Soaking requires only standard buckets and water available on every farm at zero cost. Penn State University's 2019 germination research found pre-soaked seeds reaching harvest 10 days earlier than dry planted alternatives on average. The hand tool system now. Here's what makes this even more effective than any mechanical planting system, costing thousands of dollars to purchase and maintain. Each hand tool serves one specific function within the coordinated assembly assembly line moving across the field. The dibble stick creates a hole at the exact depth required for each specific seed variety. The seed drops into the prepared hole without ever touching the soil surface and potentially losing moisture. A covering tool firm soil over the placed seed at precisely calibrated pressure, preventing air pockets. Tamping eliminates air pockets that cause seed failure underground by preventing root to soil contact after germination. Ohio State University's 2019 planting mechanics research found prop dibble depth increasing germination rates by 35% over randomly depth-planted seeds. Dibble sticks get carved from hardwood by each family member during winter preparation months. Different dibble tip. Diameters serve different seed sizes, requiring different planting depths and hole widths. Corn dibbles are wider than bean dibbles, which differ again from squash dibbles, requiring yet another diameter. Each planter carries the correct dibble for their specifically assigned crop without carrying unnecessary tools. Tool coordination eliminates cross-planting errors that confusion during rapid community work creates. Indiana families maintain dedicated labeled dibble sets for each major crop type planted annually. Commercial mechanical planters cost $3.00 and require fuel, parts, and maintenance every single season. A complete dibble set for an entire family costs nothing from existing farm woodlot material. The Food and Energy Management 40 workers planting 15 acres across 2 full days requires massive coordinated food preparation running parallel to field coordination throughout the entire operation. Work begins at 5 in the morning, requiring pre-dawn meal preparation completed before the first planter enters the field. The host family prepares breakfast for all 40 workers before dawn using wood cook stoves in the summer kitchen. A high-energy breakfast of eggs, fresh bread, and roasted potatoes sustains 4 hours of intensive morning planting work. Wisconsin's 2018 agricultural labor research found properly fed workers maintaining 40% higher productivity compared to inadequately nourished field workers. The morning work session runs from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m., completing the most demanding planting tasks before heat builds significantly. A substantial 10 a.m. break provides a complete meal and 30 minutes of genuine rest for every worker. The afternoon session runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., completing all remaining designated acres. A 4 p.m. final meal celebrates completion with the entire assembled community before families return home. Food preparation for the gathering begins 2 full days before the planting day to ensure sufficient quantities for all 40 workers across 3 daily meals. Women's food coordination runs in complete parallel to men's field coordination throughout both preparation days. Indiana communities rotate host family responsibilities between gatherings, ensuring no single family bears the entire hosting burden repeatedly. Rotating responsibility distributes both cost and labor equally across the entire participating community. Ohio families prepare 40 portions across 3 daily meals, totaling 120 complete servings over 2 days. The acre-by-acre progress. Let me ask you something most people never consider. How do 40 people maintain productive momentum and collective focus across 15 acres in 2 full exhausting days without losing energy or direction? The entire field gets divided into numbered sections before the gathering arrives, with each section representing approximately 1 acre, clearly marked. Completion of each individual section receives a brief but genuine acknowledgement from the community supervisor. These small completion celebrations maintain collective motivation during the intensive 2 day effort when individual energy naturally fluctuates. Cornell University's 2020 group labor research found section completion recognition increasing group productivity by 25% over unacknowledged progress systems. Children get specifically assigned to count completed rows within each section, providing real-time progress reporting to field supervisors throughout the day. Children's counting creates genuine contribution from the youngest participants while providing supervisors with accurate progress data. Progress awareness prevents the undetected slowdowns that develop during difficult afternoon hours when energy drops across the entire group simultaneously. Supervisors identifying struggling sections redistribute available workers immediately before the section falls too far behind. Overall progress. Pennsylvania families use a simple flag system marking completed sections visible from any point across the 15-acre field. Simple cloth flags cost nothing to produce and indicate completion clearly from considerable distances. Section supervisors confirm planting quality before placing any completion flag on their section. Quality confirmation prevents rushing behavior that causes poor planting depth, reducing germination rates across entire sections. Indiana communities maintain written progress logs throughout both planting days, recording section completion times. Logs get analyzed during winter planning meetings, identifying the most efficient working patterns for following year improvements. The knowledge transfer during planting community planting gatherings serve the dual essential purpose of accomplishing work and transferring agricultural knowledge simultaneously without interrupting productive workflow. Experienced planners work continuously alongside beginners throughout the entire day, teaching through direct demonstration rather than formal instruction. No dedicated instruction periods interrupt productive planting workflow at any point during the gathering. Teaching happens naturally and continuously during actual productive planting work across every hour of the gathering. Michigan State University's 2019 apprenticeship research found learning during active work retaining 80% more knowledge than identical information taught in classroom settings. Young children begin their knowledge journey by observing and carrying seeds, learning proper spacing by watching experienced adults work beside them. Older children handle dibble sticks directly, learning correct planting depth through physical touch and immediate feedback from supervisors. Teenagers plant completely independently with experienced adults working nearby to answer questions and correct subtle errors. Adults contribute full independent productivity while continuing to absorb refinements from the most experienced community members. Knowledge progression happens naturally and automatically across participation in multiple gatherings over several years. Indiana communities document that by age 14, Amish youth plant as productively as fully experienced adults in every measurable way. A 14-year-old contributing adult level productivity represents the complete success of the apprenticeship knowledge transfer system. Modern agricultural education requires years of expensive classroom instruction before any productive field contribution becomes possible. The traditional apprenticeship system produces fully competent farmers through direct participation, requiring zero tuition and zero textbooks. Ohio communities maintain lists of specific demonstrated skills each community member has mastered over their participation years. The skill demonstration system ensures complete knowledge distribution across every community member without gaps. Pennsylvania families identify knowledge gaps during annual winter planning meetings and address them through targeted pairing during the following year's gatherings. Community reciprocity system, 40 farmers gathering to plant 15 acres by hand, operates on a foundation of pure reciprocity built across generations of reliable mutual support. No money changes hands during any community planting gathering, regardless of the scale of work accomplished. Every participating family contributes their labor, knowing that identical support will return to their own farm when their planting season arrives. Trust built through decades of completely reliable mutual support makes the entire system function without contracts or payment. Wisconsin's 2019 community economics research found reciprocity-based farm systems reducing individual farm operating costs by 85% compared to hired labor alternatives. A family planting their fields alone using hired labor pays $15 per hour per worker. 40 workers contributing 2 full days at $15 per hour equals $9,600 in avoided hired labor costs for every single gathering. Community reciprocity completely eliminates that $9,600 expense from every participating family's annual operating budget. Each family plants with community support, and each family receives community support for their own planting in return. The annual labor exchange, worth $9,600 per family, costs every participating member absolutely $0 beyond their own contributed time. Reciprocity extends far beyond planting to harvest operations, barn raising events, and crisis support during illness or injury. Indiana communities document reciprocity obligations entirely through informal community memory rather than written records or contracts. Community memory proves more reliable than formal written contracts in communities with genuine long-term trust relationships. Ohio families participate actively in reciprocity systems that their great-grandparents established over 100 years ago. Those century-old reciprocity relationships function today without any modification from their original form. Trust accumulated across generations creates the reliability that no financial contract can purchase or replicate. The complete 2-day planting operation, completing 15 acres in 2 days, requires precise integration of every individual system working together without any gaps or failures in coordination. Day 1 covers 8 acres, including the most labor-intensive crops requiring maximum worker energy and attention. Day 2 covers the remaining 7 acres, including faster planting crops matched to slightly reduced energy levels from previous day exertion. The crop planting sequence gets planned specifically to match daily energy levels throughout both days. Morning high energy gets reserved deliberately for the most demanding planting tasks requiring precision and speed simultaneously. Afternoon lower energy gets matched to simpler and faster planting tasks that experienced workers handle efficiently, despite fatigue. Ohio State University's 2020 labor efficiency research found matched task energy scheduling increasing total output by 30% over random task assignment. Day one begins at 5 a.m. with breakfast service, role assignment confirmation, and tool distribution to every worker. The first planting crews enter pre-marked rows at 6 a.m., with full seed baskets ready for immediate work. A second wave of crews enters at 8 a.m. as the first wave reaches the midfield point of their sections. The 10 a.m. break provides a complete meal, 30 minutes of rest, section progress review, and worker redistribution to address any sections falling behind. Afternoon crews resume at 11 a.m. with adjusted assignments based on morning progress data. Day one completion gets celebrated at 4 p.m. with the entire assembled community before reviewing plans for day two. Day two follows the identical schedule structure with different crop assignments matching the remaining field sections. Experience accumulated during day one consistently improves day two efficiency through refined coordination. Cornell University's 2020 multi-day labor research found day two efficiency exceeding day one by 15% across all documented community planning operations. By late afternoon of day two, experienced workers reached their absolute peak efficiency, completing final acres faster than any morning section across both days. Modern tractor planting achieves a similar planting pace per individual worker while requiring $50, zero in equipment investment. Community hand planting achieves identical output per worker with absolutely zero equipment cost beyond basic hand tools. The equipment savings represent the most significant single economic advantage of the community coordination system over mechanized agriculture. These 10 methods prove that planting 15 acres completely by hand in 2 days doesn't require expensive machinery, fuel costs, or modern technology when community coordination and traditional systems guide every decision.